Here we are, Gabriel Murillo, with episode number 8, Exponential Growth. And today we have a good friend of mine from a couple years now, Luis Lopez. Welcome, Luis.
Hey, Gabriel. How you doing, man? Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for coming, man. I'm excited for today, and we're going to be talking, as always, about personal and business growth. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's do it. So, Luis, you and I go back a couple years. I've been here in the States for 5 years, and I got the pleasure to meet you about 3.5 years ago.
I think so. Yes. We were in college, and we were just searching the new opportunities here in the United States, right?
That's exactly right. And I think we were talking about this today with your mom. When people ask me, so what do you got out of college? And now I can say, hey, I got a friend like Luis.
Yes. I was really lucky to, meet you there. And I've always seen that you had a presence in Baton Rouge, and I always seen you around. And just meeting you in college, in class, was definitely a surprise. But it was meant to be, man.
We got a cool story about that.
Yes,
right?
we do. We sure do.
Well, let me describe you and take you back to that moment. Luis we were at this classroom, probably about 20, 30 people in the class. Mm-hmm. It was a speech class.
That's correct.
And then I see this well-dressed guy, which usually here at college, people there dressing with shorts and some flip-flops. But this guy, he comes all sharp, all, with his back, all open, whatever, chest up, and shiny little brown shoes. And I say, hey, man, in Spanish, of course, they're like, hey, mira, esos zapatos tan brillantes. I mentioned something about his shoes, and after that, man, is that what happened?
That's what took it away, man. I was, dressing to impress. I was going back to college, and I was also just starting to walk in the entrepreneurial shoes, and I needed to dress to the, occasion to be able to carry that title with me.
I love it. I think, yeah, after we met, we got great rapport right away. We started talking, and I remember during the class, we got to share our passion for entrepreneurship, and you are 27, I'm 26 now.
That's correct. Yeah,
we're young entrepreneurs, but in the class, I think my speech was about traveling and building your remote business, and you were talking about personal finances.
Yes, I was talking, I think from the book of Dave Ramsey, I was talking how to do a budget. And everybody thought we were crazy because it was, young 20-some-year-olds talking about finances and business in general. We were really respected in this class. I remember.
I love it, man. And those were great times. But let's go ahead and take us back to your entrepreneurial journey. I know your parents have a lot of influence in this, but if you can take us back and tell us a little bit about your family business back in Arizona. We're here in Baton Rouge, and Luis came down here in Baton Rouge how many years ago?
It's been 7 years now.
Wonderful.
Oh, yes. We took the journey of entrepreneurship first in Phoenix, Arizona. My dad was able to open a furniture store after maybe having 25 years of experience in the industry and working for someone else. He decides, to open a furniture store for the family to have more freedom and be able to do more stuff together. And as, any, I guess, successful story can tell you, we had failure. We fell down, and here we are 7 years later in Baton Rouge with a new journey, a new adventure, and it's going great, man.
And what made you continue that path? Of course, you guys fail, but then you came back up and you say, hey, let's do it again. Why?
It's like a burning desire. It's inside of you. You cannot avoid it. It's like when I was working for someone else, I had 3 jobs and I was going to college the time when you met me. And it was just something inside of me telling me, I cannot give my time to people and because I'm working on their vision. And I had my own dreams. I had my own dreams that I wanted to come to pass. And so the only way to be able to do that and have the freedom that I was searching for was by opening my own business and, just, I guess, employing other people for their, just to be able to be a blessing for others.
Yeah. And I know we'll get to talk about that later in this episode about freedom. I know we as entrepreneurs, we're willing to work 80 hours for ourselves than to work 40 hours for somebody else.
That's right.
And yeah, we do talk about freedom. And I think that has different meanings for different people. We do know that the rewards of running a business, it gives us a lot of flexibility. But we have to work hard. And I think that's one of the main things about you. You like to work, and you got strong work ethics. What would you say about working hard?
It's a trait that I definitely have. When I was working for other people, I was working, the hardest I could. I was always given the extra mile, and I was always recognized by it. I mean, I got several offers through all my job careers, and I was able to show what I was made of. And it's definitely, I'm not scared of working hard, rolling my sleeves, and just getting that down and just doing it.
That's wonderful. One thing I love about our friendship, we're really close friends. We have the first time in the past 3 years and a half that we didn't see each other for 6 months, and that's
wow, that's
seems like years. But I mean, one of the great things about our friendship that keeps inspiring me and looking out for you as a great friend and one of my closest five is, I mean, your attitude. And I do remember even in college, I mean, your attitude is just this optimistic, eternal optimistic person. You're always looking for the best, always having, a positive end to the things. And you do go through difficult things, especially with family and different situations in your life that may be tough, but you keep always smiling.
That's right.
What about that?
It's always, I've learned that the tribulations we go through in life are just good to shape your life. I mean, everything that happens in your life happens for a reason. And, I've learned that, like that one time when we lost the business back in Phoenix, Arizona, I was in charge of the business because I was the older brother and I was the one that was translating for my parents. And I remember talking to the landlords, talking to all the manufacturers and having all that pressure. At that time, I was probably not going to sleep. I was just going through problems and I didn't know that it was going to be a good outcome at the end of the years. So I'm not scared of going through it. It's part of life. And I believe the more successful people in this world have been through tribulation and have been through the fire, because diamonds are become shiny once they have friction on their, on the stone.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. And here we are sitting right now at your store. I remember I came here about maybe a year and a half or 2 years, and there was probably a tenth of the size of what it is right now. And now you guys went ahead and bought or rented or got the next space, and now you have 3 different spaces, and this store is huge. So talking about business growth, I think you guys have done pretty well in the past 3 years, right? When was the day that you guys opened this store?
It was December 2012 when it first started. And up to this point, after it's been 4 years, 3 years and some months.
Yeah.
I was doing the numbers this morning, and we had, I think it was 1,435% increment since then. The numbers are amazing.
Exponential growth. That's what we're talking about. That's what happens. If you want to take us back on the progress on you guys started, I remember going to, what do you call the market, the flea market, and that's where you guys started, right?
That's what it was.
And then what else? Tell us about it.
Oh yes, one day I was on my way somewhere, church I believe, and I had little money saved, a couple $1,000s, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with this money? Because I've always had that entrepreneurial mind. I'm like, I can't go and spend it at the mall, so let me just go ahead and open a small place. It was a 10 by 10 square foot, 100 square foot location out there in the flea market with a dusty place. It was really hot in the summer. It was really cold in the winter. And I was able to make that sacrifice by faith. I'm like, this is the starting, but I'm not gonna be stuck here. It's just gonna be the beginning of something great. And it took some work, and I was able to just move up to my first location or my first space, and it's just all worth it. After 3 years, I see back and just working out of that small space that has metal walls and is full of spiders and webs, spider webs.
Yeah.
It was definitely worth it.
Yeah. You guys started working as a family. Your mom, your dad, and even your brothers are involved in the business.
Correct. I was able to bring my whole family here. They've been in the business of furniture as well for many years, and I see that as a positive thing, being able to just hang out with them, being able to teach them what I could and just be with them a lot more than what we used to be, because they were working different jobs and we were all in different trades. So it was an opportunity for me to be close to them and just, I mean, when you have your family in the business, I will say it becomes harder, but at the same time, it's more, what's the word? You feel good about yourself because you're doing something good for your family. And at the end of the day, all of this is for our own comfort and their comfort.
Yes.
So
That's great, man. I mean, I do remember you keep talking about what this was going to become, and I think that's key. In the last episode where we were with Pete Bosch, he was talking about the importance of having a vision and having a clear picture of the future or where you're trying to head to. And I think, when you were back there at the flea market, you were talking about, hey, we're going to have our stores, we're going to have this. And then when I came here, you had only one of the, what do you call this? Spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, hey, I'm gonna get the second and the third one. And here we are, there's three. And then today when I saw you, you say, hey, I'm gonna get the next one. I'm just waiting for the other person to get out.
That's right. It's just when you do the right thing for your customers and you serve them, most likely. That's the word that I've used for my motto in my business. Just serving others, I believe that it gives you that opportunity to grow. There's nothing, people appreciate when you serve them and they're just waiting, to be served. Everybody wants to be served. And when you put that first, anything other than anything, that I think that works.
And we got management. We were talking about working with families. So tell us, how do you guys deal with decisions? I know there is a lot of challenges in that area, but what's working for you guys as a family?
It's definitely a must to be able to have one, person that's going to be in the head. It cannot be possible to have 3-4 people that are making decisions, because when you have many ideas, many ideologies, I mean, anybody can throw in information and ideas, and we definitely will consider it. I'm saying myself, but it's definitely a challenge sometimes, but it's also fun. Like I said at the beginning of the program, it's a way to, be with them and just enjoy them. But my vision, it's way over one store. I'm looking to have tons of stores throughout the south of the United States, and just having this one store, the next one, could be somewhere else, and I'm not gonna have to bring my family with me. So it's a blessing to be able to do it now, but I know in the future, after we have, 50, 100, 150 stores, 200.
Yes.
I'm not going to say a number because, everything that I've done up to now, just, I make a number and it goes way above.
Totally.
So it's...
in fact, I remember, this is a good point.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to goal setting, we actually did this exercise at my house. Mm-hmm. We sat down and we wrote our goals.
That's
because,
right.
They talk about the 3% of people that they write down their goals and how powerful it is compared to the other 97% that they just, oh yeah, I want this and that. We actually did it. And
2013 at the beginning of the year.
And we look at it like a couple of years ago and we were blown away because you kind of like double up the numbers.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I think I went like 5 times above what I was writing. And it's kind of scary because I remember at that time we were writing crazy numbers.
Yeah.
Like it was totally out of
range.
Yeah. And when we look back many years after that, and we look back to the numbers that we've been ticketing and with overhead, with the revenue,
mm-hmm.
It was way more than we thought.
Totally. And that's exponential growth. And that's what this show is about. We want to talk about business growth. Before we continue to talk about Lopez Furniture, which is your business today and your family business, let's talk about you as an individual, as an entrepreneur, and your personal growth. I know you love reading.
I love reading. That's definitely a leader is a reader.
Yes. And also you of course, you do audiobooks as well. But how do you think that helped you in the past with your personal growth and also your business growth?
Well, let me tell you, Gabriel, the first year when I had the exponential growth in my mind and just knowledge in general, and I was able to just be bold and open the business, that was the first year I read, I think, 24 books, two books a month.
Wow.
and it just made an impact in my life. It was just taking that initiative of taking the book, reading it, and just the book work itself out in my brain, and it gave me ideas, and out of a sudden I was already doing what the books were saying. It's amazing.
Second nature.
Yes, it was just reading. And just how after that it was a piece of cake. I guess it's definitely one of my most important parts, to be able to prepare for new ideas, be able to open the mind and just hear out what other successful people are saying, because everything's written. Sometimes people are just lazy to be able to open a book and be able to read and find out what will change their life. It's just one thought. It said that out of a book, you're supposed to catch on to 15%. It's always one or two concepts that you catch. And that makes a big difference, because it moves you forward to the next level.
Yes. Yeah, and you learn, and then you get to apply it. I know one topic, there's a bunch of them, but I know one that we discuss a lot is sales, and you got really good at it. And you were telling me how, the other day you read a book, and then suddenly you came here to the store and you apply it. So, and it works.
It does work. I mean, anything that that could be different to what we've been doing for a while, it can work. Like that one book that we've been reading, Profits First.
Yes.
It's a great book. I mean, we as a business always think that we should invest all the money that comes in as profits and stuff, but it's also important to be able to hold on to your profits, because when you hold on to your profits, I mean, you're working for freedom and financial freedom, but when you're not holding on to profits, you're pretty much a slave of your own business.
Yes.
And that's not good.
Totally. And I, one of my goals eventually with the show, it's to bring Mike, the author of the book. He is an amazing entrepreneur. And I mentioned this in the last episode as well. He has a mission statement, which I fall in love, and I say I want to be a part of that, and I'm going through that myself right now. But the mission statement goes like, we are eradicating entrepreneurial poverty.
That's right.
Imagine that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so if you think about it, there's thousands and millions of entrepreneurs that they are just living in poverty. Why? Because they're reinvesting everything in growth and whatever, but then that never pays off because they wear out, and then the business fails. Mm-hmm. There's no one way of doing it, but the way that the Profit First book talks about, it's a framework to run your business in a way that you get both. You can, scale in the years to come and have a big payday, but also while you build your business, you get the benefit or the reward today, which is profit.
Correct, and that's what we're working for. I mean, we're not here to be able to be slaves. Yeah, we're not charity. We're not here to work.
Not that charity is a slavery, but it's a different model.
Yes, it's a different model. We're not a nonprofit. We're a profitable business. That's what the idea is, and it's definitely good to be able to hold on to your profits. It's like the Bible speaks about, tithing, 10% tithe to the Lord and 10% savings to ourselves. So pay yourself first, and it's like, pretty much you're paying yourself first in the business, and if it works out in the personal area of my life, why not apply it to the business itself?
Yeah, it's coming over and over again, guys. I've been telling guys and girls out there that are listening, Profit First. I mean, I read it December last year, and it was way over my head. I did grasp probably 50% out of it, and then I went back to it about 3 months ago and start taking baby steps to applying it. And of course, we talked this morning with Chris Keene in episode number 7 about personal finances. So if you haven't listened to that episode, go ahead and check it out. So we cover a good bit: management, market, money. And then the model, of course, you guys are selling store here, which are retail. There is a model of retail, right?
Correct.
Do you have any other business model that you guys are working with?
Yes. Actually, let me take the opportunity and be able to talk to the entire nation, because I'm sure this program is going to be amazing. And
totally.
It's the model that I've been using for my business, and I'm working on it right now. It's designed, built, furnish. I will design your home. I'm a construction manager with the contracting license. So I'm working on designing your home. Imagine this. You come to me and I'll design your home, and then I'll build your home. And then at the end of the process of building, I will furniture for you.
Wow.
You can do it all in one step or in one store. And it's we have, different manufacturers that we use. We got all types of furniture, home furniture. We got appliances, electronics. I'm able to do flooring, kitchen cabinets for you, and of course with the quality construction and just walking you through the whole process of designing your home like you need it. It's a custom home design. So that's my model that I would like to apply to throughout the United States.
Now, of course, there's a whole lot of revolution with the online world and a bunch of different creative distributors that are just selling just purely online. But you can testify that this retail model, physical store, still works. It's working for you pretty well.
It does. I mean, I do have a website. It's lopezfurniture.com. We have close to 164,000 products in there that we show, from everything, appliances, furniture, and electronics. And it was definitely a need because we have people that are out of town and they're willing to buy our products out there. So, but we definitely, needed to get online because if we don't make a presence online, I don't know the next few years if you will survive as a business. So it's retail in the store where you can come in and you can touch the furniture, you can sit on it, you can feel it. And also, get that warm breathing from the owners and be able to just experience the whole shopping experience. And then the online is for those people that don't
do more research.
Yeah, they do research and they're able to choose their furniture online.
Yes. Great, Luis. I mean, I do want to get into the mentorship piece. I know that's going to be a good one. I'm holding it to the end. Mm-hmm. Before we do that, is there anything that you can think related to business growth that you can say, hey, man, when we started doing this, I mean, we grew up like crazy. Can you think of anything?
Oh, yes. It's definitely, I believe your mom one day told me years ago. She said, al que buen árbol se arrima, buena sombra lo acobija.
Wow.
Can you translate that for me?
That's a tough one, but I'll try. Like if you get, let's say, I mean,
if you get under a good tree, you will definitely have good shadow. That's what it means.
That's exactly what it is.
That's what your mom said. And I've noticed that in the past few years, I surrounded myself with entrepreneurial minds, millionaire minds, people that I feel that I have a connection with. We're able to be a family, a community. We are growing together. We are learning together, and we're able to give each other a hug when we need one that is getting hard. We're able to, pump fist whenever it's going good. And I definitely feel that in my early years, I had a guy that I worked for. It was amazing because he took the time to be able to just, grow me up. He was there to just get me that seed of growth and entrepreneurship. And I couldn't see it at that time. He said, you got a great attitude, you have a great work ethic, and you're going to do great in business. I remember one day when I showed up to his office and I told him, I was going to start my own thing. And his answer was, Luis, I knew you were going to leave, but I didn't think it was going to be this soon.
Wow.
So it's definitely a must to have mentors and be able to just learn from other people. And like I always said, find smarter people than you, because you're going to learn from them.
Yeah, big shout out to David Osuna. We definitely want to have him on the show. He runs a painting company.
Yes, he owns a painting company in the area.
And you used to work for him. So tell us more about that relationship and in details. I think that's one of the big pieces on the show as well. It's mentorship. So he was your boss, which we love that word, don't we?
Yes, we do.
But no, he was that person. He was more than a boss, a leader. And he took the time to mentor you in directly and indirectly. He was not necessarily mentoring you to be an entrepreneur, but he took the time to show you what it is and show you that path.
Yes, it's a burning desire that all leaders have inside of them. We care for others, and when we see someone that has that potential to grow, we spend the time, and that's what David did to me. He was able to carry me, on my ideologies. He always talked about paradigm. He said, we are not what we are not supposed to be what we were told by our parents, by our teachers, by the things that we've been in life at a young age. That's not what determines who we are, but it's just the decision that we make to change and have a different, I guess, perspective of life, and just to see things differently. He was definitely really brave to be able to just show me who I was and be able to just take the time. Because I remember out of 8-hour shift, we were talking about me for like 4 hours.
Wow, that's a good job.
Man, I'm telling you. We were out there and I mean, it was his fault that I left early, I guess.
Oh, that's a good, man, I'm telling you, people like him, it's what we are here for, that. And, you know, he's a family man for sure, right? How many kids he has?
He has 5 kids, and I've seen him like pour out for these kids. It's something that, you know, I'm thankful for, and that we are trying to do. We want to give ourselves to other people. We want to be just known for, you know, men of integrity, men of giving. We want to give out, and it's selfishness. I mean, it's something that I don't want to have in me. I want to just be able to pour out to other people, be able to just give out and be able to teach others how to do this. And some of them can, some of them can't, but we're going to be there for them.
This is good, man. I'm just getting ahead of myself, and I'm laughing here. I think, I mean, laughter, we were talking about that as well. Friendship, it's a good piece is that loyalty and the trust, but also the laughter. And you and I will get to laugh a whole lot.
Oh,
man.
we laugh a lot.
But yeah, so, you know, David is a business leader, and we also were talking about values and how another word for that will be priorities. And, you know, we got God, you got health, you got family, you got certain things that you value most in your life. And now here you show me the core values for the company. And, you know, I mean, we usually see this a lot in a whole different companies, like integrity, quality, respect, service, fun, empowerment. But tell me in your own words, you know, what is this all about? Values.
Values. I believe, I mean, values is what you believe to be right. It's something that makes you feel right at the end of the day when you go home and put your head on their pillow. It's just honoring your customers and being able to serve them. It's something necessarily to have like on the wall, like I have here for my employees, and for them to be able to see, you know, how to treat a customer, how to sell the best quality furniture you can, be able to just respect others when they come in, service them really good, and have fun while you're doing it. Because at the end of the day, you know, this is about having fun and making money. And values, you know, it's definitely a must in a company to be able to identify those. Once you identify your values and you are able to work with that and be able to bring it and apply it to your business, is definitely a very good satisfaction. So it's I guess it's the rule of thumb of how you're gonna be doing business.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in 5-10 years?
What is my what? I'm sorry.
Where do you see yourself in 5-10 years?
In 5-10 years, I'll be 32, man. Well, I see myself, you know, handling multiple locations throughout the United States. Be ready, because you're going to be seeing that motto a lot. Design, build, furnish. I want to be able to just pour out and just start opening stores throughout the South and be able to do that business model for me not to be everywhere, but to be everywhere at the same time.
Yeah. I love that. You get that. Good, man. I mean, we still have about 15 minutes in the show, and there's a couple things that I want to mention. I mean, so far we covered the 5 M's. I mean, money is something that is critical as well. It's oxygen for a business. No cash, there's no business. And in your personal finances, like you say, you go back to Dave Ramsey and budgeting, and how important is that in the business as well?
It's very important. Actually, I've always learned that your personal finances is a reflection of your business finances. If you're able to, you know, handle your personal finances, they will definitely show in your business. And if you want to be financial free, you have to learn how to handle your financial.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's always is the rule of thumb is not don't spend more than what you make.
Yeah. Well, and another thing I want to share. I mean, here in the show, we get to share our story as it is. We don't. I mean, we're on radio that we have to say the right thing. So one thing that I at least experienced in the past 2 years, and you too, we start making a reasonable amount of increase and growth in our business. So we got a good living, not saying that we make millions for our personal.
Not yet.
Not yet, exactly. But compared to what, we were getting paid, $8-10 an hour when we were working with other people. Like 5 years ago when I started working here in the U.S., that was my pay rate. And suddenly I'm here running a business. And now, like you say, it was a challenge at least for me. I don't know what you can say to that. But money started coming in and then expenses out. It's kind of like the law of gravity. Automatically expenses start jumping in. I travel like crazy. Now I'm taking it more slowly. Now I think I more mature in that aspect. I'm still, tempted to travel and stuff, and I love traveling.
Were you in Brazil last year?
Yeah, well, last year, dude, I traveled quite a lot. Here in the States, at least, I have about 8 trips from San Diego 3 times. I was in Vegas. I mean, I was in the Philippines for a month. That was a good trip, but my point here is, as you make more money, you spend more money, and now you're saying that you the key is to spend less. But in my case, now I'm recovering about that. I'm spending like crazy and now taking control of my money and being more disciplined. But how do you handle that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said earlier, I was looking at my numbers for my revenue since 2013, and it had a really big increment. However, my expenses also went up. When you have a business that is growing, you need more warehousing, you need bigger spaces, you have more employees.
Another truck and the
box trucks, yes.
Store.
It's definitely something that you need to watch every detail. As I was told by a very successful man here in the area, he said, your smaller leakages are the ones where your profits are going to be leaking first. He's like, you got to look for small things, like get it down to cents. He's like, you have to sit down, be able to open up your account and be able to see what you're spending your money on and just cut as much as you can, because there's many money leakages in a company, and it sometimes it's hard to grow because of that reason. And I know I've been adjusting it on my company. I mean, I can tell you stories since, from years that I've had. I was struggling, but then when I made those small adjustments, you're talking about $50 here, $100 there, and it makes a big difference in the business. So it's definitely something that needs to be watched.
Monitor that.
Oh, yes.
Lot. You guys use QuickBooks here?
We use QuickBooks for our data entry. That's correct.
Yeah. Yeah, we started using the online version instead of the desktop version. It's been phenomenal for our company. So, Luis, we got the last 10 minutes of the show. Is there any advice that you will share with young entrepreneurs?
Yes, my advice to young entrepreneurs is just to start. It's very good to be able to dream and be able to have goals and be able to have a vision in life. But if you don't begin, it will never come to pass. And this, I believe, the major step that entrepreneurs need to take, and we've seen it in our own lives, is to take that first step. I remember when I was quitting my last job after the 3 jobs that I had, I went to a trip on the West Coast. I landed in Phoenix, Arizona, took a car all the way to Seattle, Washington with a friend. We were out there for 3 weeks and just, traveling the whole coast. And when I came back to Arizona and I was going to fly back to Louisiana, I realized I didn't have a job anymore.
Oh, wow.
I was all by myself. I had quit on my last job, and it's going to be 3 years in August this year, actually. And I'm like, man, where's my $15 an hour going to go? I mean, where am I going to get this money from, And it was fearful. There was a lot of fear. There was a lot of doubt. There was questions. I'm like, am I going to make it? Is this going to be something that is going to come to pass, or am I going to fail? But you have to do it anyways. You got to have faith, and you got to be able to just overcome that fear and do it. because at the end of the day, it will all be worth it. And even if you don't make it, it will be a good teaching experience, and it will give you more knowledge and more boldness for the next project, because we are entrepreneurs and we never stop, bro.
There's I know you remember Chad Bluing.
I sure do. Yes.
I want to have him on the show. He's been a great person of influence in my life in the past couple of years, and he talks about the word inspire, and which, you know, he have the whole explanation of what it is, and I'll have him share with us in the show. But he talks inspiration comes from being in spirit, which is awesome. I love it. And awesome. Then, you know, and then I found something that relates a whole lot to that, which is the enthusiasm that we have. With you and I, those two words are kind of like something that describe who you are, right?
Correct.
You're an inspirational person, and you are full of enthusiasm. And that word is also God in between. In theos, or the theology, or theos by God, is, you know, you have God in between. So if you are inspired and you are and enthusiastic, then that means that you're in the spirit, and you have God in between, or in the middle of the whole thing. Can you agree with that?
Yes, definitely, man. That was, you know, I started my path with God 4 years ago, and it was part of what my mentor actually triggered in me. I was not who I was supposed to be back then, and if we talk about the spiritual part, that's definitely a plus. It was definitely a burning spirit that I gained through the Holy Spirit, and it was something different that I had never experienced before. So it was input in me, and it lives in me now, and so I was inspired by it, and I had so many prayer nights. I cried, and I was able to just
healing process.
Yes. It was an amazing experience back then. And
I know that Vito Suna, that's the person that we're talking about, and again, we're gonna have him in the show. I haven't invited him yet, but I'm pretty sure he'll generously share his story. He's a pastor now, right?
He is a pastor. He's been doing it for 2 years, and he's getting a lot of people out there, man. He has a big heart for souls, and for, you know, I guess giving people the tools to be able to succeed in their life, and just all life in general. He's not just focusing in the spiritual, but he's also focusing in the mind. He's the one that triggered the book Love on me, and then he also focuses in your finances. That guy is full of, that he has all areas.
Yeah, he's in his spirit.
Yes.
He's inspirational as well.
Very inspirational.
And enthusiastic. That's phenomenal, Luis. And I think, and the last 5 minutes of the show, I mean, I want to encourage people to get motivated by your story. If there's any Hispanic or Latinos that are listening, we're going to start speaking in Spanish. No, just kidding. But just be motivated. I mean, this country, it's full of stories like Luis and myself that we got here with pretty much nothing, but just a bunch of dreams. And you are a testimony of what's possible in this country. So kudos on that, man. Congrats on your journey. And I'm confident that in the next couple of years, I'm going to come back and look at what you have done for your family. And we were sharing about somebody in your life that we're not going to get into details, but I know that's exciting. It's you know, it's life, man. It's unfolding in front of our eyes, and I'm excited to see how God is being working in your life.
Amen, man. That's awesome. I mean, start small but believe big.
Yeah,
it's definitely.
You want to close? We have a couple books in here in your desk. We got Fresh Start. We got Brian Tracy. We got John Maxwell. Let's see what you have here.
Intentional living, man. I mean, it's like choose a life that matters. It's your choice. You're the only one that could be in charge of your life. You know, don't be scared of taking the risk, and don't be scared of just doing it big. I mean, we are gonna be blessed to bless others. We're here, you know, in this journey of life. Once is YOLO. You only live once. It's not. It shouldn't be a problem to be able to think of millions, even billions of dollars. It's. Don't be scared. Take a small step at a time. Be able to just build something and do what you love, which is the most important part. Show up to work in the mornings, be as enthusiastic, be able to have fun while you're doing it. Because when you do what you love, you don't work a day of your life. It's a great satisfaction. Be able to, hang out with your family whenever you want. Don't ask for days off. Take the day off when you want to, because it's your business. You work hard for it. And there's nothing that is holding you back. There's no bosses. You're the boss.
Yes.
I mean, it's great. The sacrifice is big, but the fruits of your harvest are going to be satisfying. It's going to be something worth fighting for.
Extremely fulfilling. Luis, if somebody wants to connect with you, they can definitely come here to the store.
Yes.
Lopez Furniture. We're here in Denham Springs.
We're actually in Baton Rouge. If you go to lopezfurniture.com, again, lopezfurniture.com, we have our contact information in there. We have the address. You have my personal, or not my personal, but my business email. And you can also, find me on Facebook. I'm Luis Lopez. There's a bunch of Luis Lopez out there, but
that's not a popular name.
If you look
here,
on their Gabriel, maybe I'll be on there as friends. And but yeah, I have, my personal email is llopez.usa@gmail.com. I'm usually all around the country just traveling, looking for ways to learn, looking for a construction conference, looking for furniture conferences. Growing, man. That's it right there. It's not. There's no options. We gotta go out and just fellowship, network with all the people, and especially if we want to take over the United States. And
I want to close the last couple minutes and just share this. Now we're talking about. I haven't get a chance to say this in the show, but one of the main reasons that when I was coming up with the name for the show, I see a pattern in the past couple of years, and I realized, I like learning, I like attending the conference, reading, and growing entrepreneurship. But something that happens frequently, and that was like a pattern, was growth,
Yeah.
And then I dig down into that. I know 2 weeks from now I'm going to be attending Anthony Robbins.
Wow.
Unleash the Power Within is the main conference that he has. And he covers the human needs. He talks about the human needs. He covers the 6 human needs where you have certainty, you got uncertainty and variety, you got significance, you also have connection and love. And the latest 2, which are spiritual needs. We're not talking about religion, we're talking about the spirit, and we're talking about being inspired and being enthusiastic. The 2 needs that fulfill your spirit are contribution and growth. So if you stop growing, your spirit is dead. And if you stop giving or contributing, then you're dead as well. Spiritually, you can have everything, you can achieve everything, but if you stop growing, they say progress equals happiness. If you're growing and making progress, you're going to be happy.
That's right.
So I want to just to share that with you guys and with you, Luis. I know growth has been a constant in your life, and it's going to continue to be that.
That's right, man. Put other people first. It's always, you gain, as the Bible says, is more satisfying to give than to receive. So when you give yourself to other people, you pour out for others, and you make them succeed. You pretty much got to measure where you want to get to, and you got to help enough people to get there before you can come on there.
Totally.
It's like the book I'm reading right now, See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. Mm-hmm. It talks about it. It says, you cannot go up to the hill by yourself because it's not going to be no fun. Bring all the people with you. Sure. Drag them up.
And you see, this is, it is a biblical principle, and you can see it with the most successful people in the world. They are not even faith people necessarily, or they share the same faith, but they're applying the principles and they're giving back. You see the top 10 billionaires in the world, they're giving back.
That's right.
And that's the biggest joy in the whole world, when you get to contribute and also grow those 2 spiritual needs. And I want to close by that idea on why are we doing this? What's the whole purpose? And when we talk about making money and building businesses and wealth, there's 4 reasons for money. Number 1, you want to invest it, save it, enjoy it, and then give it. Those are the 4 main reasons of money. Anything, I mean, there's no other reason why we want a bunch of money other than to invest it, save it. We give it away, we enjoy it, which is, for our stuff. Yeah, we can have one toy or 2 maybe. But also it's giving, and that last one, it's the one that changes everything. Do you agree?
Yes, I do agree. I mean, your entire life pretty much begins when you're able to give. It's a great satisfaction. You can get satisfaction from giving to yourself, but when you give to others, it's amazing, bro. It's something that I cannot explain. I guess it's the way we are. It's something inside of us that has been changed because we were reborn in Christ, and it's a major, I guess, calling for us to be able to give.
That's fantastic. And man, I really appreciate your journey, your story, and thank you for coming into the show.
Thank you, Gabriel, for having me. I really enjoy it. Let's do it.
And I wanna close also to give a shout out to the editors in my team. When I was doing this show with Luis, I thought about them. There's an amazing team behind Exponential Growth, the Podcasting Press team, the main editors, Gabriel as well, Gustavo, Julio. Those are the teams behind the scene. Michael, that's the team that is being behind the scenes making this happen. And man, I'm excited to be able to contribute and to give back to you guys. So shout out to the team Podcasting Press. So cheers, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.